Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your day or your commute home or wherever you happen to be right now with a news of glad tidings, good tidings to bring you great joy. The meme master, troll master of the universe, and your favorite president, number 45, Donald Trump, is returning to social media. Donald Trump is already back on Twitter, has access to his account, and just decided seconds ago by Meta, which is the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, all important media platforms that we broadcast and use. Donald Trump will be returning to Facebook and Instagram, decided seconds ago and announced. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the article. Boom shakalaka. Ya boy Donald Trump is back, exclusive from Axios. Trump reinstated on Facebook. Meta will reinstate former President Donald Trump's Facebook, Instagram accounts in the coming weeks following a 2-year suspension, according to Nick Clegg, the company's president of global affairs. Why it matters. The decision sets a new precedent for how the company treats world leaders. It could change the trajectory of the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Now, we know that for sure, and we'll discuss that in just a moment. We've always believed that Americans should be able to hear from the people that want to lead this country, Clegg told Axios. We don't want to stand in the way of that. Well, that's super refreshing to hear. Flashback. Facebook, along with Twitter and many other social media platforms, barred Trump as soon as January 6th attack on the January 6th attack on the Capitol, breaking the rules over fear of further incitement to violence. Big picture, the reinstatement of Trump's accounts will allow him to run ads via his Facebook and Instagram pages, which have 34 and 32 million followers, respectively. Trump relied heavily on Facebook for ads in previous election cycles, fundraising, and list building. Under Elon Musk, Twitter also reinstated Trump's account, but he has not yet posted. But yes, Trump will be subject to new policies that Meta has created following feedback from its independent oversight board that could restrict his account once more. Should he violate the company's policies in the future. We just do not want, if he returns to our services, for him to do what he did on January 6th, which is to use our services to delegitimize an election, said Clegg. His account will not be reinstated immediately, Clegg said. Meta's engineers will need time to build out some of the new functionality necessary to restrict certain posts. Well, okay, so there it is from Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump returning. How it will work. Trump will be subject to new policies around restricting accounts and public figures during civil unrest. Under those policies, Meta can decide to restrict the account of a public figure that violates community standards for a time ranging from 1 month to 2 years. Trump will also be subject to crisis policy protocol, including Meta, introduced by Meta in August, that will consider both on-platform and off-platform imminent harm in evaluating the actions of speech of any figure. So be smart. For actions or speech that don't explicitly violate Meta's community standards, Clegg said the company will retain discretion. So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump returning to Facebook and returning to Instagram. Donald Trump's Facebook. Please have a look at it right now. We have no new posts from Donald Trump. Of course, these are the posts, however, that they say violated the terms of service. I am asking everyone for the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law of the great men and women in blue. Donald Trump's last post from January 6th, 2021. RIP, and now Donald Trump will be returning. 34 million followers on Facebook. Donald Trump's Instagram, 23 million followers on Instagram. Donald Trump has not been able to post. Here are some of Donald Trump's Instagram posts. His granddaughter playing golf. He and Don Jr. in the Air Force One presidential office. White House photos and photos of MAGA rallies. And here, the Donald Trump Save America March on January 6th. Ominous, ladies and gentlemen. 23 million followers there. And then you have Donald Trump, of course, on Twitter. Donald Trump has had his 87 million followers back on Twitter. Donald Trump, of course, final tweets saying that everyone needs to be peaceful at the Capitol. So there you go. Ladies, they wanted to bury this evidence. They didn't get to it. And now Donald Trump is returning. I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. That's what Donald Trump said. Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump getting all of these accounts back. You have 150 million people, rough math here, 150 million new accounts being brought back for Donald Trump. Facebook, which has lost billions of dollars, Trump said on Truth Social, since deplatforming your favorite president, just announced that they are reinstating my account. Such a thing should never happen again to a sitting president or anybody else who is not deserving of retribution. Thank you to Truth Social for doing such an incredible job. Your growth is outstanding and future unlimited. Donald Trump saying to Truth Social, yeah, baby, I'm going back to Facebook. And here's why. The reason why Donald Trump is going back to Facebook is because Donald Trump, one, is very, very good at social media and has a very good social media team. But also, Donald Trump is going back to Facebook because it is a massive fundraising vector if you are running for president. Along with Twitter, along with Instagram, you need to raise money if you wish to run for president. And so Donald Trump has been soliciting to return to these platforms, and now he will be allowed to return to these platforms. The people over at CNN weeping over this news.
There's breaking news just coming into CNN right now. Meta, the parent company of both Facebook and Instagram, says it's restoring the social media accounts of former President Donald Trump. For more on that, I want to bring in CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan, CNN's Kristen Holmes, and CNN media analyst Sarah Fisher. She's a senior media reporter over at Axios. Donnie, let me start with you. First of all, give us the specifics. What are you learning?
Yeah, well, this is the most politically consequential decision Meta, Facebook's parent company, has ever made.
Okay, cry more about it. On Fox News, the spokesperson for Meta was saying exactly why they are bringing back Donald Trump.
So you are ending the suspension of former President Trump on Facebook and Instagram. Why are you doing that now? And explain what's behind it.
We're confirming that if he wants to, he can, in the coming weeks, he can use Facebook and Instagram again. I mean, of course, there are guardrails, there are rules. He's got to play by the rules.
Oh, Trump's back.
Trump's back, ladies and gentlemen. Trump is back. Will Trump be using Rumble? Was Trump ever kicked off Rumble? Not sure. People are watching on YouTube right now. Will Trump be brought back to YouTube? That we do not know about at this moment. However, it remains clear, and anybody who is in the know for these kind of things know that it is massive fundraising vectors on Facebook and on Twitter. These are huge fundraising mechanisms. This is very, very big and important for list building. They have massive amounts of conservatives on them and supporters and people who are willing to donate, and you need a lot of money to run a national campaign. So Trump getting back on these platforms, I think, more than anything, allows him to fundraise and allows him to run a national campaign for president. I personally, and obviously everyone on this show, believes that the banning of Donald Trump was wrong. Clearly, presidents have a right to free speech. You cannot have a democracy if you do not have free speech. Speech is a prerequisite to truth. Truth is a prerequisite to free thought. Free thought is a prerequisite to having a democracy, to having a republic, to having an electorate that can decide who wants to lead it. You cannot silence your political opponents, no matter what they say or how inconvenient they are. This is the just and correct decision. The man who made this decision far before anyone at Facebook did was Elon Musk. Elon Musk has been a long-standing appreciator of Donald Trump tweeting. He said this in an interview in 2018.
Twitter is a war zone. If somebody's going to jump in the war zone, it's like, okay, you're in the arena. Let's go.
Okay. Who does that sound like?
I don't know. Who's it sound like?
It sounds like a guy who lives at the White House.
Oh, that guy, yeah, sure. He's very good at Twitter.
I know.
I think the president is amazingly good at Twitter.
The president is amazingly good at Twitter. Elon Musk says, again, here is Donald Trump's juicy Twitter account sitting there waiting for him to tweet. Now, the reports are here from NBC News that Donald Trump's team is preparing his first tweets back, his first posts back on Facebook, his first post back on Instagram, and that his team is going back and forth, figuring these things out, Facebook and Instagram, to end Trump's suspension from platforms. Here, NBC News reporting. Trump's accounts, which were suspended by Meta after the January 6th riot, will be reinstated in the coming weeks. This is now the official news that Trump is coming back. We had allusions to this, but we did not know. Former President Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts are being reinstated. Social media giant Meta will announce on Wednesday, little more than 2 years after he was suspended on the platform for incendiary posts on January 6th. Nick Clegg The global affairs officer at Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, said Trump's accounts will be reinstated in the coming weeks. So, ladies and gentlemen, expect to see these accounts reactivated. Did you ever think you'd see the day? Look at that. Reactivated. Here's Trump's Facebook, and here's Trump's Instagram. Boom. Shaka. Laka. What will it look like when Donald Trump sends his first tweet? We have an artist's rendering of this historic moment.
Oh my God! Oh, look at that! Holy smokes, man!
Holy smokes, man! A beautiful meme. We certainly do wait in anticipation for Donald Trump to tweet. Elon Musk wants Donald Trump to tweet. Why? Why wouldn't you want Donald Trump on your platform? Now, let me say this directly as somebody who has working knowledge and who has contacts at all of these companies, because we work with these companies day in and day out. And so it is smart business, actually, to have contacts and representatives and people who you can reach out to when there are problems, glitches, bugs, demonetization, things like that. So let me tell you a little bit about how the sausage is made on social media. They need Donald Trump back. You want higher engagement. You need MAUs, monetized active users. Monetizable active users, real people really using your platform. You got to have it. And so you got to have Trump back. When you have Trump back, you have more people using your platform. You have more people tuning in. Do they hate Trump? Do they love Trump? Do they want to post memes about Trump? Are they spam bots? Doesn't matter. They want Donald Trump on the platform. That increases the active users. That's one of your without question. I think Donald Trump is one of the most followed people on Twitter. I think he was the most followed person on Twitter. Elon Musk has now surpassed him, but Donald Trump hasn't tweeted in a while. You took down like your biggest user. And of course, taking him down was deeply wrong, a violation of the First Amendment, and quite frankly, a violation of public trust. The other question here is platform versus publisher. The idea here, Section 230, is that these places are platforms, and those platforms have systems of operation, and you just can't break those rules, and you'll be fine. We live by those rules and die by those rules if you're publishing on social media. A platform is simply like a telephone company that allows you to make phone calls. That's a platform. A publisher is somebody who has a political opinion, an agenda. A publisher is somebody who has a worldview and can take you down. And so you're walking a very dangerous line when you start acting like a publisher and not a platform for communication. That's what 230 protections mean in social media. So, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump asked recently about coming back to Twitter and whether he would do that. This was a couple of months ago when he got his Twitter account back. Trump had this to say.
President, I wanted to pivot a little bit to current events as in happening in real time. I don't know if you've been following. Twitter is blowing up today. Elon Musk posted a poll that had over 13 million respondents so far asking whether or not you should be reinstated on Twitter. My question to you is, what do you think about Elon Musk buying Twitter? And if you are reinstated, will we see you back on Twitter again?
Well, I like that he bought it. I've always liked him. I got along with him very well during my days as president, and I got to know him pretty well. But I do like him. I've always really, he's a character, and I tend to like characters, but he's smart. He did put up a poll, and I hear it's very overwhelming, very strong. But I have something called Trump. If you look, it's Trump-owned, but it's really fantastic. Truth Social. And Truth Social is through the roof. It's doing phenomenally well. The press hates to talk about it, but it's doing phenomenally well. I think engagement is much better than it is with Twitter, and it's taking care of voices that really want to be taken care of.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, live shot here. You might want to cover your ears, but we have, my producer tells me in my little ear here, that we have a live shot at the front of the Democratic National Committee in Washington, D.C., of leftists responding to this glorious news that Donald Trump will be back on Instagram and on Facebook, along with Twitter. Again, you may want to adjust your volume. We are going to take this shot live. Here is reaction from the DNC and the core of the leftist hive mind. Okay, well. I didn't say, I can't say I didn't warn you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the RNC. We go to the core, the base of the Republican Party, to see their reaction.
Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just watch and learn what.
Yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, shakalaka. So, to give us more in-depth detail as to what's going on, the only man that we trust to be the visionary and the Nostradamus for what is going on social media, the great executive producer of this show, and we're lucky to have him, ALX, joins us now. Oh, man, I love that new stinger for you, ALX.
There we go. Now I'm unmuted. Trump
there you go.
Being reinstated. That's actually insane. But I think Facebook was smarter than Twitter in their penalty of Trump. I know we all disagree with penalties, but Twitter, they're like, we're going to take him off forever. No questions asked. Facebook at least said, okay, let's take a step back and see what the future holds. And yeah, 2 years is a bit much. I mean, I don't think he should have been banned in the first place, but they left the path open for, if he was going to run again, that he could return to the platform. And now that he's officially gearing up his 2024 run, he has his first official rally this weekend in South Carolina. They're making the announcement that he can now use Facebook as a fundraising vector, which it was a huge fundraising vector in the past two campaigns. And he has more reach than any of the other candidates. Like if you look at Joe Biden's page, it's probably dead. He might have a lot of bot followers or whatever, but like who's actually going on Facebook to engage with Joe Biden posts? Look at the White House's like YouTube numbers, like all of that. So it's going to be a massive asset for his campaign.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's look here. Here's Joe Biden. Here's Joe Biden's page. He's got a third of the following. Oh, and he doesn't follow anyone. Got it. Okay, definitely a page that is run. Okay, there's some of the images that he's being tagged in. Tagged in some fang hopping up there in the Menchies for Joe Biden. So anyway, yeah, and terrible engagement, by the way. Look at this, 2,000 likes. Terrible
comments.
Engagement. Goodness gracious. People like laughing at his stupid memes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Look at the quality of that post. American manufacturing is back. That's it.
That's it. That's the post. Oh, good. Everyone likes a infographic that you can't read. They're such idiots. I mean, they're really, really bad. This is like, oh my goodness. They made, oh my gosh, 1,000 likes, ALX. We do this day and night, ladies and gentlemen. We try our hardest to get high engagement and to give you the content that you want. ALX and I both know this is pathetic. 100 shares and 1,000 likes.
Yep. This is what he's competing with. And again, Trump has been off the platform for 2 years, and his first post is going to get more engagement than he's gotten his entire presidency so far. So it just like speaks volumes that the people on the right know how to use social media, and we have real followers and real people engaged. And, you know, the people that are on Joe Biden's are just bots, and, you know, no one's going to actually engage with that content.
So talk to me about what should Donald Trump's first moves be on these platforms back. You are yourself a technologist. You're political, you're very, very wise in this industry. And you are a connoisseur of sorts of political posting online. You know what works and what doesn't. What would be your advice to President Trump?
So he does have his fiduciary obligation to serve with Truth Social, because I believe he's still like on the board. He's still the owner. So what I would say is that he should first post should be to tell everyone to follow himself on Truth Social. And then also when he does make posts, he should make them first on Truth Social and then post them to his other platforms in an incomplete version. And basically to see the full post, you'll have to go to his platform on Truth Social. And then also as the campaign ramps up, to use the advertising wisely, because they're opening that up on Twitter as well. There was a ban on political ads, and now they're opening that back up. So he'll be able to utilize Twitter's ads as well, which I think he will. And I believe he should use that as a fundraising and advertising vector, because he already has that pre-existing audience on both of those. And then, yeah, like I said, use it to redirect to his own platform too, because like we saw with Facebook's conditions, there's no promise that they won't do this again, especially like on Facebook. Twitter, I think he'll be fine, but keep everything that, you know, is going to be violative on those platforms. Keep it on Truth Social and basically tell people, well, if you want to see my whole post, go to Truth Social and here it is.
What do you think was Facebook's thought process here? Well, I mean, what do you think was the major deciding vectors to allow Trump back? You heard that clip from CNN. He's not, Donnie O'Sullivan's always wrong, but he was right. He's like, this is the most consequential decision politically that the site's ever taken.
Yes. So, well, first of all, on Donnie O'Sullivan's part, I think it's funny how he's not unequivocally anti-censorship when he was banned on Twitter. Like CNN flipped the switch and there were suddenly, oh, this is journalists are at risk or whatever. It's like, okay, so when the leader of the free world was deplatformed, you guys were all cheerleading with all of the people at big tech. But yeah, as far as their thought process, I would say that they're looking at the writing on the wall on Twitter and saying, okay, they're more of a free speech platform. He's going to be back on Twitter anyway. We don't want to be the only people to have him banned. And like I said, when they initially banned him, they left the door open for this. They said, we're going to decide at a later date. At first they said an indeterminate amount of time, and then their oversight board said, oh, it's going to be a 2-year suspension. And it's going to coincide with the launch of his campaign, because I think what they were worried about too is the FEC coming in and saying that Joe Biden or whoever is running against him would have an unfair advantage because they're allowing him to spend political ad dollars on their platform while keeping someone else's platform. So I think that's the reason for the 2 years, is because, like I said, it's coinciding with almost to the date, the same day that Trump is relaunching his campaign this weekend. So he'll be able to use it in like 2 weeks. And he's officially launching his campaign with the rally in South Carolina this weekend. So I think that's the main driver behind it. And Facebook has a huge conservative audience as well. A lot of people on Facebook are actually conservative. So I think that's why they did it this way.
Yeah. I think that some of the major panic that is happening right now inside of the hive mind of the left is because so much of what they view as a large, powerful account on their side is completely manufactured. It's fugazi. It's fugazi. It's not real. You can tell. You can look through Joe Biden. And ALX is a master at Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. You all know that, obviously. And if you're smart, you'll go follow him at ALX on Twitter. But as a master of Twitter, I'd like for you to give me a summary here, ALX. Is this normal to have nearly 37 million followers and to not even be able to get 1,000 likes? 1,000, retweets on your...
I can tell you that is not normal. I have a fraction of that, a very small fraction of that, with 300,000, and I'm able to get better numbers than that. And we know these are all propped up. Like, you can see him like retweeting his POTUS account. He probably retweets himself from the POTUS account. Like, he's artificially boosting those numbers as well by retweeting from his other account. And the White House probably props it up too. So you have to take all of that into account, like how many followers the White House has. And then, the DNC probably props it up. And that's the best they can do, 700 retweets. And no, they're all like these boring, like posts that first of all, they're not even like true. I like the community notes feature where like he's just getting dunked on about the facts about gas prices or whatever. And it's completely false. So like there's that giant, not a fact check, but they're community notes from other people in the community on Twitter saying this is completely wrong. So yeah, I think that's kind of funny on Twitter. But yeah, and you can tell he's never even logged into Twitter. This isn't him. It's some weird intern.
Yeah. Well, do you believe that Donald Trump will go back? Like, do you think he'll go back like full MAGA? Do you think he'll be posting memes again? Do you think he'll be? I mean, you've been following along on Truth Social, so do you think that Donald Trump will be more reserved, perhaps, when brought back to social media, or do you think we're going to get old vintage Trump, as they say, the fine wine?
To start, I think it will be more of what I said about like leaking the Truth Social or whatever. But once he gets the phone in his hands, I don't think there's going to be any stopping him. You can't really control Trump. So he's going to do him after a while, and especially if he wins, the White House, he's going to be tweeting away. So I don't think you can stop that.
Yeah. A final question here, as it pertains to Elon Musk. If you're not following ALX on Twitter, you're really missing out. Go follow him on Twitter. It is ALX is also on Instagram, but Elon Musk responds to ALX all of the time, and Elon Musk and ALX have like a symbiosis going on here. And so I have to ask, like, is this good for the greater overall tech community? Like, what will this mean as it pertains to Silicon Valley? Because never in Silicon Valley's history, I mean, maybe since the bubble burst in the year 2001, have you had more of a reorganization. Elon Musk may be moving Twitter out of San Francisco. People are, like, doing permanent work from home, shuttering offices, massive layoffs. Donald Trump is back. I mean, this is a wild time to be in Silicon Valley. What will be the overall net effect of a Trump return?
I think it's going to be positive because, well, first of all, banning all of those journalists, those liberal journalists, forced the corporate media and everyone on the left to be outraged about how dangerous it is to ban journalists. So then you flip it on its head and say, what about a president? Just because he's a conservative, you don't want him to have a platform. So now we have that to use against them when they're pro-censorship. And then the other thing I'll say is that all of these tech companies are experiencing mass layoffs, not only Twitter, but other companies as well, including Facebook. So they're realizing that they actually have to get skilled people and not people that are just going to be activists. And then another thing is with the Twitter files, that shows that, they're not immune and they can't do whatever they want. Their communications might be exposed one day. It might be subpoenaed by Congress. And, they have to watch their backs now to see what exactly they're saying. So I believe, this entire experience, what we're seeing is going to be a net overall positive to even, I think two of the most important people at Twitter under Elon Musk aren't very conservative, and one of them's leading Amnesty, one of them's leading the product launch. I don't know how they are politically, but I know at least one of them leans more liberal, and she's leading Twitter Amnesty right now. So I believe that Elon's having a positive effect on people who might be more liberal in tech, and saying, okay, this is, really the only way forward if we want to actually have conversation and dialogue online.
We used to call being a liberal being open-minded. That was what liberal meant. Liberal meant that you would be like, hey, yeah, you're wearing a MAGA hat. I totally disagree with Donald Trump. Tell me why you're wearing a MAGA hat. I want to hear more about that. I want to understand you. That's the classical definition of a liberal. Don't let these people get it twisted. These people are fascistic. Fascistic is, I don't like your opinion, I'll shut it down, and I'll put you in jail if I can. These people are not liberal at all. Liberal is actually what Elon Musk is doing. Liberal is allowing Donald Trump back, allowing Donald Trump to speak, allowing anyone to speak, actually, within the guidelines of the law, right? Legal speech. That's what a liberal would say. So, yeah, these people certainly are not liberals. They are fascistic. ALX, you are allowed to speak. Tell everyone where to follow you.
Yep, especially on Twitter at ALX, Truth Social at ALX, and then Instagram and Getter at ALX the Lord. Couldn't get ALX for those.
ALX the Lord, the Twitter update from the man himself. Thank you, ALX.
Thank you.
All right. we were making all these graphics, man. We're making these graphics. It's so much fun. It's so great being here where we can like sort of just freeform and like bring you the news and talk to you about what's going on. Put together graphics like this one.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. This is what Joe Biden's saying right now as he watches Donald Trump get at least 150 million followers back. That's at least 150 million, because imagine how many people have been following these pages or want to follow and return to the conversation. So what's going to happen as soon as Donald Trump comes back to these pages? I mean, his following is going to shoot through the roof, along with the engagement of these accounts and social media accounts and everything else. Tell us what you think in the comment section. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? If you think it's a bad thing, why? Why is more speech bad? Let us know in the comment section. What do you think? Trump 2024? Someone else? Do you think Biden 2024? You might get destroyed, but you're welcome to let us know, ladies and gentlemen. And let the games begin. The games are now afoot. Donald Trump is back on social media. Donald Trump is returning. Ban lifted. Donald Trump will be restarting his presidential election run in 2024. He had sort of a start at Mar-a-Lago, and now he's going to be back. He's going to be doing his MAGA rallies once more in South Carolina, an all-important state because it's one of the first primary and caucus states. And so we shall see. We told you. Stay tuned. Buckle up. We're going to have one hell of a year. Please, if you like this type of news and reporting and bringing you the news and information you need right when it breaks, we were live like within 10 minutes. Royce, 10 minutes? 10 minutes of this news breaking. Please give us a follow. Give us a subscribe. Give us a ding of the bell so that you can see when we are live. Don't you want to see when we're live? And let us know what you think about the show. We are always watching and listening and reading the comments. We do this show for you. We do this show because we have our priorities straight. God, family, country. These are our priorities. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you in the morning with more updates. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Benny Show official broadcast. That's all for now. See ya.